Okay, so I used to have a big ego. And when I was dating Rob Schneider, I talked briefly about him in one of my last videos in Hollywood. I remember, it's kind of funny coming from a comedian, right? Him saying to me, "You have a big ego," and being like, "What?" Have you ever had in life where people tell you something about yourself and you're like, it doesn't resonate, and then years later you're like, ooh, they were right. So what I want to share about my big ego today is we all have an ego. And what is really happening is there's a part of us that is hurting and it needs love and attention. It needs to be seen and heard. And for many years, I didn't think I had a big ego. I didn't even know what the ego was. I was just learning all the things I was preaching because they say we give. So this is a really good lesson, and look at your life. Where do you teach people a lot? Where do you give a lot? Because that is the very place you need healing. So I loved sharing and talking about self-love. I thought I had it, but I was really working on deeper self-love. And the ego is not a bad thing. It's like a toddler throwing a tantrum. It just needs to be put in check. It's a little dog that needs to be put on a leash and not go barking and running after people, right? We need to tame it. We need to let it know who's in charge. The big self with the S, the divine self, the soul, God, your higher self, your heart. Because from that place, you don't need anything or anybody. You are so in love with life and connected to you that the ego wants, it needs, it's desperate for attention and more, and it's never enough. And recently, I've really had a beautiful journey of, I say beautiful, even though it really was uncomfortable. I want to say about the last 6 months, I was waking up at like 4, 5, 6 in the morning with negativity and heat and just really painful energy moving. I know dark places in my PTSD recovery, and it's not as dark as my bottom. But let's say darkness, let's say 10 is your bottom. I've been there where, the dark suicidal thoughts. I remember being like, oh my gosh, I understand why people commit suicide. That's how bad my feelings and thoughts were at my bottom. And that was many years ago. So if 10 is your bottom, even a 1 of not feeling good doesn't feel good. So even if mine are like a 1, 2, or 3 on a scale of pain, 1 to 10, 1 is just a little bit of pain, 10's a lot. Even 1, 2, or 3 for me, I don't know about, I don't like that. So for months, I'm waking up with this like heat and energy, and I would use my tools. And the second I get up, I actually get out of bed because I'm not a morning person, so it's hard for me just to get up. It clears and I can connect and go about my thing. So I know when you're laying down, you're vulnerable. And it's almost like the pain body and the ego can get you. So be careful of that. If you sit up, take deep breaths, start your meditation practice, read something spiritual, I can get reconnected really fast. However, for months, I've been riding this wave. And what I realized, it was another layer of my growth. I mean, that's until we're masters and we can leave our bodies, we're going to continue to grow and thrive and be better. There's no arriving, right? Unless it's Christ consciousness and you're one with God, and then you don't even need to be here, right? So that's getting into another deeper spiritual conversation. So the ego, what happened is I was guided to an Eckhart Tolle video, and I do believe we hear what we need to hear at the right time. I've listened to my go-tos from Abraham Esther Hicks to Eckhart Tolle to Paramahansa Yogananda, my guru, to Dr. Joe Dispenza. Those are the people I've studied with and gone in and out of. Neville Goddard, if anybody knows these names, again, I can leave all the links in the description. I love all of them. And so this recent Eckhart Tolle video popped up, and it was exactly what I needed to hear. It's like I've been working so much with my pain body and ego and trauma the last 15 years that once I really just stepped into not needing anything from anybody or needing to get anywhere, really practicing the tools and living it, I haven't been waking up with that almost like that's what Eckhart Tolle says, the ego gets bigger before it dies. That's a good teaching point. It's like mine was getting smaller, so it was screaming to survive. And finally, it just got quiet. Like, it's safe. It's okay. I'm in charge. My higher self is. Ego, you don't need to go scream and be famous and be known and be successful. You don't need all that. I guess I really did think at some point I needed fame and money and notoriety to be someone, to be seen and be heard. But that's not true, because if it was, so many rich and famous people would be happy, and they're not. And I have had attention in my life. Now that I think about it, did it make me happy? Does it make me happy now? No. What makes me happy is sitting at my altar, connecting to the true self within me, knowing that I'm just a channel for that love and light and expressing it and getting out of my own way. That's really what makes me happy. I love people. I love connecting. But if we're not feeling complete in ourselves and getting the ego out of the way, we're not going to, 10 million people could love us and it wouldn't be enough. So I think as I've really been working on filling up my vessel, filling up my cup with me, my higher self. Now, this doesn't just happen overnight. Again, for some people it might, but for me, it's been quite a journey. I mean, I started learning spiritual stuff and meditating 30 years ago. And I feel like I'm just really getting to know myself right now. And I feel this energy in my body. I feel my breath more. I'm feeling a sense of peace. And for the first time in my life in many years, I'm getting to a place, I'm still working on it because I love life. I do have goals. I do have ambitions. But I'm really learning to make sure they come from the true I, my soul self, instead of ego, if that makes sense. So I've been talking about this the last few weeks, the last months, with ego and dreams and desires and disappointments. But I really wanted to share on a personal note how it feels so much better when you do the work and really connect to your true self. Because then the ego is not giving you this push that you have to be someone or you have to get somewhere in these highs and lows. You can ride the middle path. You can ride the wave of just being authentic to your true self and a channel for something bigger. And that does feel better. And I am happier living like that and just making these videos, whether or not it's for 5 people or 5 million, doesn't matter, because that's ego. So back to the beginning. So Rob Schneider was right. I did have a big ego, but maybe we all do. I don't know. Some of us, if we're born masters, we don't. However, mine has definitely gotten smaller, and I'm very happy about that. Please leave in the comments about your ego. Do you have a big one, or does it feel pretty small? And share, because we can help inspire each other to be better and get out of our own way. Thanks.